Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Hello, Buckeye Nation. Jeff Rash here, host of the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show, and I'm joined today by, of course, none other than Alan Metzel, head coach and athletic director from the Gilmer Buckeyes. And, Coach, congratulations on another win. That makes how many? Are we 7 or 8?
8-0.
8-0. 8-0 sounds really
I like 8-0. I
nice.
like anything in 0.
8-0, anything in 0, especially with the preseason that you had this year that we were looking at. Like, man, what was he smoking to line all that up? But sailed right through there, sailing right through district. So congratulations on that. We got Pittsburgh next week. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what an exciting football game Friday night. If you like football, we did have some fans that were in the stands. I was so impressed with those people that actually came out here.
Absolutely.
Because it never stopped raining.
No,
I mean, it was just constant.
Yeah.
So that was the big news is we had a rain delay and it rained the whole game. But the bigger news was that we debuted the new orange uniforms. That was fun.
And I thought they looked great, and the kids loved them, and so that's all that's important.
Yeah, and I was prepared to wear y'all out when I heard it. There was orange on orange. I was going to get on the broadcast, and I already had it all planned out how I was going to really wear y'all out for your poor taste. And then I saw them, and I'm like, man, I had to eat some crow.
Yeah.
Because they really look great. I mean, they pop. If you hear, because everybody kept saying these are like really orange, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how that's going to look, but they look great.
I think when we were talking about it last year, I wasn't real big on it either, and but they were talking about doing an alternative uniform. Well, an alternative uniform that's black, it's still black, so there wasn't really a whole lot of contrast. And so our salesman was like, well, what do you think about this? And I was like, I don't know about the orange and all that. But then he showed me the model, and it looked pretty good. And I have to say that what we got was even better than the model. It really is a sharp-looking uniform.
It really is. It looks good. And for those that are wondering why you're doing that, UIL has some new stricter rules about the contrast of numbers on colors, and black and orange was not a deep enough contrast, and
we had to put white on top of our art and all that kind of stuff.
It was a mess. So anyway, all right, let's talk football. So it was an exciting game. Spring Hill, a lot of teams changed their games from Thursday to Friday night. We decided not to. Is that just to let the JV and all that?
Well, there was that consideration. Anytime you move something of that kind of magnitude with cheerleaders, drill team, a team, you're going to lose all the sub-varsity stuff unless you move them as well. There were just a whole lot of things. Then you've got parents that were scheduled to come in for Friday that wouldn't have been there for, they would have missed it potentially. There was just a whole lot of things. Plus, how can you ever plan for the weather? You're going to do all that, and then you get here Friday and it wasn't raining.
Yeah, and it was senior night to complicate things even more.
There was a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, but everything worked out fine.
It did.
All the senior parents met down here, took pictures in the field house. We recognized before the game, drill team, the band, ROTC,
cross country,
all that. And then the football players got recognized at halftime. I didn't have an umbrella with me, so I stood down there like an idiot, drenched. And so Braden and I were talking as we were walking up, and they were fixing to say his name. I said, we ought to just run and dive, just slide face forward. And he was all in for it, but I chickened out at the last minute.
Yeah, he would have done it.
Well, he was already wet. So.
No doubt.
But I wanted to at least try to keep my pants dry. So, all right, let's talk some football. That was you were a 69-point favorite, so it wasn't like we were real.
I'm like, how did they come up with that?
I don't know what they do, but they weren't far off. Yeah. But, playing in the rain was probably really, I think Spring Hill probably thought, well, this is probably a good advantage because we can stack more in the box and maybe they can't throw a wet ball. I noticed y'all got a lot of wet ball throwing practice, though, because y'all threw the ball quite a bit, and I thought he did really well. I was like, wow.
He and Brandon both, for different people, like Troy Aikman hated throwing in the water. That wasn't his favorite, but those two guys, they both throw the ball well in the water.
They acted like it didn't even faze them.
Yeah.
So we had a few drop catches because of wet balls, but the passes, for the most part,
on point.
He did a good job.
He did.
So anyway, big victory. Buckeyes came out on top. Obviously, got a shutout. Does that mean they get a T-shirt? By the way,
They do.
They've been really wanting the T-shirt.
Yeah. You know, we had Paris, and then they returned that kickoff back, and then North Lamar at the end of the
minutes,
game. You know, so that means a lot to them.
You can see them on the sideline when somebody scores at the end of the game. They get really mad, and so this time they were excited.
It's a goal. It's a goal.
So let's just hit some quick highlights. Okay. We don't have to camp out on any of it, but we'll review some of the fun stuff for our fans out there. First thing we're going to look at is Dustin and Kevion Brinkley combining for forced turnover. And, of course, there were several in that game.
There were. And so you've got Dustin Morrow, who's playing defensive tackle, and he forces the quarterback to pitch. And then Kevion was right there at the pitch, and of course the guy struggled with the wet ball, and we pick it up. This is early in the game. I'll do it from the end zone here. You can see Dustin. I'm going to circle him, but watch how he comes down the line, does his job, makes the guy pitch. There's Kevion. The ball comes out of the guy's hands. Kevion grabs it and returns it. So anytime we get a turnover, that's a big deal for us.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Also a lot of big runs in this game. This one is Will Henderson's 47-yard scamper.
Will, we know, we've said it many times, you get him in space and get him running, he can go. I chose this one. There was a number of runs we could have put, but I chose this one because of the team blocking. So watch here on the screen, you can see our backside tackle cuts off the backside linebacker. Watch Aaron Bell gets on his guy over here at the point of attack and drives him out of the picture. Then you see Javarian Martin getting upfield. He cuts off the safety right there. And then Will gets into the secondary, gets behind a couple more blocks by our receivers, and then takes it, the rest of the way for a touchdown. But, a lot of times you've got one person who gets their name called on a touchdown.
Yeah, but
there were a lot of components.
There was a lot of good blocks thrown in that game. There was another touchdown. I don't know if we're going to look at it or not, where I'm trying to remember who it was. I called him out on the broadcast, but it was like a really good block thrown by one of the backs, I think, coming out of the backfield, and opened up the touchdown. But but those were key.
They're huge.
Of course, Caden Tennyson threw what I think is a clean block. They called touchdown back, but he threw a clean block that set up a touchdown also.
Right.
So guys are doing a really good job of getting downfield and blocking.
Taking pride in that.
Yeah, yes. And that's what, and y'all are watching film and highlighting that so they know during the game, hey, I better get downfield.
That's right.
They're watching. They're going to see if I'm hustling or not.
There's no, one time, this is a great story. Coach Johnson was talking to a kid and he asked the kid, did you do your job? And the kid said, yeah. Well, he knew he didn't. He said, now, the eye in the sky doesn't lie. Talking about the film. And the kid went and looked straight up in there. Anyway,
like, Lord?
Was God watching?
Was God watching?
Anyway.
This next one, Seth Jordan and Connor Dunn combined for a sack. And let me just say, both those boys have been playing really well. They've really come on. Both of them have come on. Seth's always been really a good player, a good program kid, I would say. But man, these last 5-6 games, he's a different guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like
he's somebody they're having to plan for.
They are. Right. It's not just our nose guard anymore. They're not just playing there. They've got a lot of threats on that defensive line.
Right.
So.
Well, he's very athletic and he's big and strong, and so he's able to cut under people. He's able to overpower people, and he's doing both.
And he plays with hate in his heart.
He plays hard.
He really does. He
plays hard. So you'll see him here. I've got both of them circled here, and so here Seth gets into the backfield, gets on the quarterback, and then Connor comes and finishes him off, and so we get a sack there. But that's setting a tone for the physicality of the game that we want. That's good stuff.
This next one is Will had another score, this time 36 yards.
You bet. So here we are. We're in the just outside the red zone, and so we hand him the ball inside. Another great job of blocking. I'll do it from the end zone where you'll be able to see some of the guys who in their blocks. Great job by our center, cutting off the nose guard, our guard and tackle kick out. Here comes our fullback, Kendall Jackson, who gets the linebacker sealed off. And then Will made the safety miss, and then just outruns the rest of them. So
I thought it was funny. We're always talking about Will's speed, obviously,
right?
And that's a big issue. Every time he touches the ball, and I thought I heard DJ Bull from the stand, from the announcing PA. He was calling him Wheels instead of Will.
Yeah.
Will Henderson. He said
Yeah.
Wheels Henderson.
That's
and I thought,
appropriate.
man, that's hilarious. And I
Yeah.
don't know if he meant,
I
I
don't
know
know.
it
If
was
it
pretty
happened
good.
by
I thought it
accident
was
or on-
funny.
yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
So we kind of picked that up. This is also another 37-yard run, this time by Ashton.
You bet. And this one is a draw play, and I think I wrote Ashton up there. This is Kevion actually, and so they spread out. We were in a doubles formation and run a draw, and Kevion ends up taking the ball
Right down the hole.
right
I mean,
down the middle,
untouched.
right down the middle.
Yeah,
So
that's good stuff.
That was a great job by the line of getting that set up, and you can just see how it opens up right there.
This next one is Tyson Wilson's interception. This is right before the half, and he had a nice return on it. And it's the only play in the game I missed because I was coming down for senior night deal, and I was coming down the stairs in the press box, and I heard the crowd go wild.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew something big happened.
Well, it was Tyson, and so here they are. It's right before half, like you said. He makes a big pick, but not only does he pick it, but I mean he flips the field. Great return here, shows his speed. Gets it almost to the 50-yard line. So at that point, if he picks it off on the 10 with 40-something seconds,
it's
you're
hard.
deciding what to do. But you return it all the way to the 50. Well, now you're in 2-minute offense, and here we go, and which sets up this next touchdown pass.
And this is probably one of the best plays of the game right here. Look at this catch.
Yeah, Jeremiah Noble.
Great catch. Do you have that from the end zone?
I do.
Oh, fantastic.
I do. Yeah, we've got
I
the
happened to be
wide
standing
here.
down there because we were walking down.
Right.
And it was a great catch.
Here you can see they're fairly low for that point in the game. The safeties are playing low. It's one of those where Caden has a choice of going deep to intermediate to shallow, and he sees the safeties low. So when he catches the ball, he knew I'm going deep.
I'm going deep.
You just got to put him on the hash, and then I'll let you look at it from the end zone so you can see him make the catch.
Wet ball.
Right.
Hard catch, and he went to the ball.
He did.
It was all hands.
Yeah.
And
Here he is right there in the back.
Slid out of the back.
Uh-huh.
It was a really nice
Yeah,
catch.
really was.
This is Ashton's big run, 79 yards.
This is first time we got the ball in the second half. Again, we're in a spread formation where you've got receivers stacked out wide, which pulls their linebackers out, lightens the box a little bit. And so now, you get a block or two, and you can get into some space. That's exactly what Ashton did. And, of course, he shows he can run too.
Yeah, he did. He showed
Right.
some speed there, breaks a tackle.
Right.
And
Has the finishing ability.
yeah, to
Right.
get in there and get the score. That was
Right.
a nice little scamper there.
It was.
Here's another interception, this time Brendan Webb.
Brendan Webb, he does. So they're trying to, it's like a third down and a little under 10. They try a little bootleg type pass. He overthrows. You can tell that was kind of a look of a ball that was wet. Kind of got away from the quarterback.
Yeah, it did.
And so he missed his receiver, and Brendan's in the right spot, makes the play, returns it all the way up inside the 20. So again, we're set up by our defense, and now we've just got to take care of it. Well, we get in an empty look and allow Caden to be able to make some decisions. He breaks through one tackle and then uses his speed to get out into the open. You can see some of the blocks here. Here's Kevion. Here's Jeremiah Noble.
This is some of the. I think this might have been the play I was talking about that freed him up.
Right.
Rewind that one more time. I want to see who picks up this key block.
Yeah.
Inside. If this was the
You've
play
got
I'm
Javarian
thinking
there.
about.
You've got Elias Castillo right there.
Yeah, Elias.
And then you
picked
got
up a good
Kevion
block.
here, and then Jeremiah on the edge. And
Yeah, I think it was Kevion. That's who I think we were talking about.
Sure.
That really set that one.
Right.
Forgave him the gap there. And then this last one is Amaro Arona blocked a punt.
And this wasn't even a called block. This was just Amaro did a great job of defeating the man who was supposed to block him. He comes up under him, gives him a little outside move, cuts under, splits him, and gets the block. So I'll go to the end zone. You can really see it here. But the guy works wide to block him, and he just jumps right under him, splits the blockers. Here he comes from the edge right there and gets the block. That's a big play.
Yeah.
When you block
He
a
wanted
punt-
to scoop that.
I know. He was trying to go
yeah.
scoop and score.
He was trying to get there, but it was a great
Great
flip the field.
Right.
Big deal. So great win there over Spring Hill. And now we got Pittsburgh. Anything in particular? We're playing in Pittsburgh.
Right. The thing, I would say several things about Pittsburgh. They tend to play us well. You know, they give their A game. That's kind of a characteristic of them. The other thing I would say is they get better as the year goes. Early in the year, they struggled. You know, they were losing a lot of games, but they've gotten better. They beat Spring Hill really bad a couple of weeks ago, and 61-15 or so. Last week they were ahead of Liberty Ilo 21-0, and then Liberty Ilo came from behind and beat them. So they're playing better as a team, and so we know we've got to
And they always play up for us.
And they play up for us.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal.
Right.
So Friday, 7:30, Pittsburgh, Texas, and then we start the playoffs.
Correct.
So that'll be, I guess at this point, the district championship is sealed up.
We at worst we would tie with Pleasant Grove, and we have the tiebreaker on them, so that is correct.
Yeah. So congratulations
Thank
on
you.
another
Thank you.
district championship. I don't know how many that makes in the last 20-something years.
Couldn't
A bunch.
be off the
It's
top
like
of the 27.
15,
Yeah,
15
like
or
that.
something like that out of the 22. So that's pretty amazing.
It's a lot of good years.
It's been a nice run.
Yes,
It's been
sir.
a good run. All right, folks. So just come out next week. It's your last regular season game. So come out to Pittsburgh, Texas. Not far, 20 minutes down the road. And bring some noisemakers and yell for the Buckeyes. We always want to travel well. So come out, and if you're not able to get out, you can certainly watch the game. We'll be broadcasting live. So, Coach, thanks for your time today. Congratulations on the win and district championship.
Thank you, sir.
And the new uniforms. I think the coaches should get something to match. A nice full orange. Wouldn't they look great in a jumpsuit?
Yeah, we'd look like Halloween
Look like
or
prisoners.
something. Yeah,
Look like
exactly.
prisoners. We'll put some prison numbers on. All right, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.